If you want to get one thing right for your testosterone, then it has to be your diet. Today I'm going to be ranking the best and worst foods for your natural testosterone levels, what to eat, what to avoid, and why they're good as well. So starting off is Brazil nuts. These are very, very high in selenium. You have to eat one a day. You get all your selenium for the day. So I treat it like a supplement. I have one Brazil nut a day. And they're pretty powerful. They're not crazy good, but they're going in B tier. Selenium's directly involved in the process of creating testosterone in your Leydig cells, which is just a fancy word for your balls. Oysters, these are one of the most micronutrient dense foods on the planet. Zinc, copper, selenium, iron, B12. It's a no-brainer. If you want to get high testosterone, the easiest way to do that is to eat oysters a couple of times a week. I don't eat them loads, but I do eat them occasionally, and they are absolutely fantastic for your natural testosterone levels. Soy milk, this is just, why would in the hell would you drink this? This is got phytoestrogens, and in theory, if you drink a lot of this is going to have estrogenic effects on the body. Some guys disagree with it, but realistically, you look at the people that drink soy milk, that's all the research I need. I don't need a study to tell me whether soy milk is good for my testosterone or not. In what world is it ever going to be good? It's not, is the answer to that. Butter, this isn't crazy good, but it's good. It's pretty good to cook with. It's a saturated fat. Saturated fat is going to help your body synthesize its own cholesterol, which is going to be used in the production of testosterone. But it's not, it's not like it's not a superfood, but it can go in B tier. Nothing wrong with it. It's good to cook with. It's going to be much better than some of the other things I'm going to list. Guys actually cook with, which is just ridiculous. But peanut butter, so overrated in my opinion. People see this as a health food. I really don't think it is. Peanuts, even in themselves, aren't that healthy. They, again, contain a decent amount of phytoestrogens. It's not a great source of bioavailable protein. It's not a great source of fat. But then it's not the worst thing in the world, so it can go in D tier. I would never tell someone for their testosterone levels to add peanut butter into their diet. I think that's just crazy. Now, this is exactly what I would tell people to add into their diet. Beef liver, crazy amount of B vitamins, selenium, copper, iron, zinc, cholesterol. There is every single thing you need for your natural testosterone levels is going to be found in beef liver. It goes in S tier. If you eat oysters and you eat beef liver, you are giving your body absolutely every single thing it needs micronutrient wise to produce testosterone. I would highly recommend you eat it either a little bit every single day, or you eat it like a couple times a week. And the same as oysters, you can do it like 1 to 2 times a week. And next we've got potatoes. I think they're fantastic. I think they're a good carb source. I don't think carbs should be avoided. If you actually understand the mechanisms behind testosterone, you'll understand that carbs should not be avoided. And people who get to, 1,000 testosterone, they all eat carbs because there's no need not to when you eat quality carbs. And that's why I'm going to put them in A tier, because I really do rate carbohydrates. I would say, oh, well, they're not essential. Okay, on paper, they're not essential, but in real world practice, unless you don't want to move all day and you want to be performing worse, it makes sense to eat carbs because it's your body's primary energy source. It's much, much easier to use and less stressful for your body to use glucose as energy compared to trying to convert fat into energy. It's a cortisol driven process. You don't want to do that. Again, in A tier. I love them personally, and I eat them nearly every single day, especially when I'm exercising, always post-workout. Potatoes are great to have. Margarine, why would you have this? It's just an ultra-processed product. Some people don't even realize that this isn't butter. You get it in these tubs and it looks like butter. It might taste like butter, but it's not butter. It's about 50% butter with some seed oils and some other ingredients as well. It's normally about 20 ingredients. And that's what I'm saying, oh, look at all these ingredients. That's what makes it bad. But there's no point in having it. There's no benefit to using this over using real butter. This is going in F tier. Honestly, I think it's absolutely horrendous. I would never understand why anyone would use this. I think it's just awful. Tofu. Some people aren't going to like this, but tofu is, if you want to be vegan, sure, whatever. But being vegan and being high testosterone, they don't go together, because you're just going to be deficient in everything. You're not going to get you can't get animal fats, you can't get animal proteins. Tofu, it's less bioavailable nutrients, less bioavailable protein. It's never ever going to be good for your testosterone levels. I'm going to be generous to the vegans and put it in D tier, and that is me being generous. It could easily go in F tier. No guy with high testosterone is ever going to say, yeah, eat tofu. That's exactly how you get high testosterone. No, not the case. I would never eat it. White bread. This is a massive problem for a lot of guys, is they're smashing loads of white bread every single day. The only acceptable bread is going to be fresh sourdough bread, with free ingredients, not these ultra processed breads that don't even feel or taste or look like actual bread does. It's got no micronutrients. It's going to spike your insulin. And if you're having it multiple times a day and it's your primary carb source, this is when carbs can be bad. When you're eating carbs like this, ultra processed white bread, it goes in F tier. It's not ideal for you at all from a testosterone standpoint. I would cut it out completely. Just have sourdough. It's nicer, it's better, it's healthier. And there's minimal ingredients. It's fermented. It's just water, salt, flour, basically. So get sourdough. It's much, much better. Raw honey, I think it's fantastic. I have it every single day before bed. If you can get it raw and local, that's always going to be better. Because it's very different. The honey you buy in a store or a shop is not going to be anywhere near as pure and as good and as micronutrient dense as the honey you can get from farms. This can go in A tier. I would put it in S tier, but I think it can't compete on the same level as oysters and beef liver. But it's fantastic. I would have it every single day. Again, it's a quality carb. You've got enzymes, micronutrients. Sometimes I have a little bit before workout, then I have a little bit before bed, and it's fantastic. I've just realised I think I've got a couple of things mixed up here. I thought these were some potatoes, but they're actually not. They're actually some chicken thighs, and they can go down to B tier because they're still good, but I don't know why. I just thought they were potatoes for some reason. I've just realised this is actually a potato, and these can go in A tier as well because I love potatoes. Some guys will completely disagree with that, but in terms of your thyroid, your brain health, your energy and performance in the gym, I think potatoes are one of the best carb sources that you can have. Carrots, and raw carrots specifically, because in theory, people believe that they have insoluble fiber that can bind to excess estrogen in the body and excrete that estrogen. How true that is, how much research and studies there have been on that, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're pretty good as far as vegetables go. And they can go in C tier. They're not crazy good, but they're a nice addition. I have like a raw carrot every single day. And then we've got milk. You could see this as whole milk or raw milk. I'm not one of these massive guys where I'm like, this raw milk lover where I say it's like this superfood. But I do think it's good. And it can go in B tier. I think, raw milk, I haven't experimented with it enough to give my full opinion on it. But I think it's good. I don't think it's bad like people say, but I don't think it's a superfood like people say. So, yeah, sure, why not? It's a nice addition to your diet. Seed oils, again, I'm not one of these massive haters of it. I'm certainly not one of the lovers of it. I just think, well, what's the point? In what world is this going to benefit me? When you just look at something and see how processed it is, you just think, well, what's the point when I've got all of these animal fats that I could cook with and use instead? And I'm going to put them in F tier. I don't see in what world there is a need to eat seed oils and consume seed oils and cook with seed oils. Will I completely avoid them? Like, will I not go to a restaurant once every, 3 months because they cook in seed oils? No, because I don't think there's going to be any difference there. But would I consume them every day? Absolutely not. Far from optimal. Pomegranate. This is probably one of the best foods that you can have as a man in terms of nitric oxide, so blood flow, in terms of antioxidants. It's very low calorie and micronutrient dense for what it is. And I think it's a quality fruit and it tastes very nice. It can go in A tier. I think that and honey are great carb sources. And for the calories that you get in pomegranate, they're fantastic. Berries, antioxidants, a lot of fiber, very low calorie, great if you're going on a cut. They go in B tier. If you're trying to lose body fat, they're great. Broccoli, some guys absolutely hate this one. Some guys love it. I don't think they're bad or great. I think they're sort of somewhere in the middle because they do contain something called DIM, which helps with estrogen clearance in the liver. So that's where I derive the benefits from of broccoli. And they can go in C tier alongside carrots. I would never go and say eat loads and loads of vegetables for your testosterone specifically. Testosterone benefits are going to come from animal fat and micronutrients, and vegetables can complement that, but they should never be the primary source of micronutrients and macronutrients in your diet. They're just like a secondary addition. Cereal, honestly, if you're starting your day with this, you're just writing your day off in my eyes. Like, how can you beat someone, who's having eggs and liver and cheese and, olive oil for breakfast when you're having some micronutrient empty cereal? I think it's for testosterone, it's an awful way to start your day. If you're having cereal for breakfast, you want high testosterone. I don't know what the hell you're playing at. that can go probably FT. I see no benefit to it whatsoever from a testosterone standpoint. You know, maybe if you're going on like a 10K run or you're an endurance athlete and you just want a quick release carbs, sure. But this isn't what this video is about. Cereal can go from a testosterone standpoint. Eggs, one of the best foods for testosterone, saturated fat, protein, a hell of a lot of micronutrients, every single vitamin you need except vitamin C, they go straight into S tier. Eat 6 a day, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the hell you want, however many you can do that. And then finally, we've got red meat. Again, superfood, B vitamins, sort of similar to beef liver, B vitamins, iron, and fat, protein goes straight into S tier. And this is how you should eat for testosterone. So it's very animal-based, animal-focused, with quality carbs surrounding it is the way to do it. It's focusing on micronutrients, focusing on a high-fat diet, getting your protein in, and building in carbs in and around your workouts to complement the things that carbs can do, like training performance, your brain health, your thyroid. I would never cut out carbs, and I don't recommend that you do so. But this is how I would eat. It's how I do eat, actually. I say how I would eat. I do eat exactly like this, and it makes me feel great. It gets me high test. It gets me high energy. And if you want to do the same, if you want to learn more about diet, more about training, more about sleep, every single thing you need to know about diet, then I do have a program called the High Testosterone Blueprint, which you can find in the description. It's an absolute fantastic program. Guys are seeing a lot of success with it. So go and check that out. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.